Shalom. Call all y'all about Shah. Shalom to the left. This is just a quick video on who the wicked is and who actually ruling, which I've mentioned numerous times and other Akim have as well. But these devils, they rather spend money on war and weaponry and psyops instead of helping the people out, making sure people straight, making sure people raise up the right way, and so on and so on. I'm gonna let this play. And this is why people gonna rejoice when we actually in power. That's why the Most High been putting in through certain stuff. So you know how to carry yourself as a man, as a ruler, as a judge, as a king, as a priest, and a servant of Yahweh Shah. So let me just play. Now I'll pull a few precepts real quick.
This week on North America, on our playlist today, the United States has been spending money on wars, but when natural disasters hit home, the lack of investment is noticeable. The world, according to Jesse, explores. Plus, El Salvador is about to become the first country to accept Bitcoin as legal tender. Boombust explains the pros and cons of this financial move. And later, Dennis Miller raves about pop-up restaurants with a famous celebrity chef. I'm Dennis Miller, +1. Let's get started.
We are first to bring you this story tonight.
House defense spending bill. This on top of the $744 billion that President Joe Biden requested for the Department of Defense. Lee Camp wonders what problems these outrageous amounts of money would have solved for the common citizen. On News with Rick Sanchez.
I'm sorry, while the never-ending wars, I guess, finally ended, it would appear that the never-ending tax dollar hole that is the Pentagon isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, they're just a little short. If they could just find that last few dollars, man, they're gonna have it all set. So and honestly, we spend so much money on our military, you know, including the black budgets, like $1 trillion a year. These numbers don't even mean anything to anyone anymore. They just, 25 billion, oh, that's nothing. Sure, here's 25 billion. Why not? Meanwhile, if you actually think about it, like the UN estimates it would take 30 billion a year to end world hunger that year. We could have, for the amount we spent in Afghanistan, which many say 2 trillion, it's probably more, over 3 trillion, but let's say 2 trillion. We could end world hunger for 67 years. And guess what? Everyone would love America. We wouldn't have to worry about security.
See, Esau a fucking devil. Esau don't want to end no world hunger. That's how you know who's ruling right now. So can't nobody say, oh, Esau don't exist when we don't know who Esau is. He's no longer on the earth no more. He's done away with. And that's false. Let me see. Go to this real quick. The border of wickedness. It's the book of Malachi, chapter 1. Let me scroll on down. Get all these verses. Now, people just talk about how people look at the Most High, because a lot of people, they actually faithless right now. They don't really consider the Most High when they wake up and do their stuff on a day-to-day basis. They look at the condition of our people, and they say this exact stuff right here. They say this in verse 2. I have loved you, said the Lord. Yeah, you say, where hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Said the Lord. Yeah, I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. And get a little imagery for Esau mountain. Let's see. Now, see. Pull this up real quick. Give me 1 minute now. I want to highlight. It's moving a little slow. I was just doing other stuff. I was moving quick. Now I'm putting up certain info a little more slow. Anyway, Mount Seir. This is Esau heritage. This is where they come from. That's why they still build their structures the same way to this day. You see the White House. You see the different courthouses, different shrine buildings, all that different stuff. Different libraries. This is their heritage. They go around everywhere else in the world, steal the resources, steal other people's heritage, make movies about it, and say it was them. Let me read on some more. It says, and I hated Esau. Oh no, the Most High can't hate. He's just all love. That ain't what the book says. We actually read it up. It says, and I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness, people against whom the Lord have indignation forever, and that indignation never went nowhere. It says, and your eyes shall see, and you shall say, the Lord will be magnified for the border of Israel. Now, how you going to be magnified? When his third woe kick off, and he seen the house shot back, and the angels actually wipe out Esau, remaining in military and infrastructure that he got set up. Because that's what's going to happen. All this money that they're spent on the damn military, black project budgets and shit like that, going out of space and doing all this different stuff. They spend millions of dollars just to send up a cargo load. And you got people that's going homeless, people that can't eat. Yeah, these storms that just passed, people still without power. Well, thanks to the wicked that's in rulership right now. They give a fuck about none of that, so they gotta get stripped out of rulership, and that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna let this play some more.
Because everyone would love the country that ended world hunger. But instead, we spend it all on killing machines.
It's truly sad. I mean, how bad is the United States priorities at this point? I mean, we recently had, school board members in Wisconsin try to reject free lunches for school kids. Meanwhile, we've got companies putting out $2 million wristwatches. And the potato chip company Lay's is now...
Damn, look, kids can't even eat, get no free lunch, man. But Esau launching them goddamn drones there.
Offering cool ranch Dorito flavored chips, like chips that taste like other chips. I mean, it seems like this country, and we're shoveling money into the Pentagon, where you kind of step back in awe and look at it all.
And you gotta, if you actually use some logic, you gotta say, are these the people that you really want ruling over you? But it's all good. I said, the Most High gonna set it up perfect. How stuff supposed to go down. When you read these scriptures and actually break it down, and you can see it happening. While they self-destructing from the inside out. Like the scripture said, if a house be divided against itself, a house should not be able to stand. Roughly paraphrasing. And you got these generals, they mad about all this stuff that's going on over there. They was part of this shit too. They just mad because they weren't in on it right now, so now they turned against Esau, so everybody against each other. Esau versus Esau, basically. I'm gonna let this play just a little bit more, and I'm gonna just end this off with Mr.
You gotta
Precepts.
ask, have we gone insane at this point?
Yeah, I think it's utterly insane. I think, honestly, you have late-stage capitalism, so capitalism towards the end days. Then you have a collapsing empire, and then you fold that all on top of a climate crisis, and you get this ridiculous chaos. So, and yes, Biden is ending, except we're going to keep bombing the hell out of Afghanistan, but for the most part, ending the Afghanistan war. But people are like, we'll celebrate Biden for ending the war. I don't celebrate war criminals who, he was vice president for 8 years, and we continued this massacre. Dropping Obama's final year, we dropped 26,000 bombs with all of these dollars spent on the military. And I don't high-five war criminals. I don't care if they leave at some point.
Even when, they hang out with Ellen DeGeneres at a baseball game.
Yeah,
like George
exactly.
Bush. It's kind of amazing that he gets lost in all this shuffle. It's kind of like everyone wants to fight over, Biden and then Trump, and they're equally responsible. Trump dropped the mother of all bombs. Biden didn't, like as you said, didn't really raise a finger during the Obama administration. Mm-hmm. But really, this all does kind of go back to George and Dick Cheney and all of them, and Rumsfeld, who are all kind of getting off with a pass.
That's because they're just a bunch of puppets. But anyway, let me pull this precept and go down the list real quick. It's in the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear of rule, the people mourn. We even got this Edomite on here. Let me run it back. And he could be from another nation, Can't just go by skin pigment or whatever. You gotta try the spirit. But yeah, this guy, this individual, he mourning. He might have his job and stuff right now and all that, but I guarantee he got some other issues going on, just like every other so-called American. Let me see, let me go down. It's in the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 10. It says, when the righteous thrive, the city rejoice. People ain't really rejoicing like that. And most people that do, they be faking anyway. They be high on something or whatever. They don't really be enjoying this because reality is sinking. A lot of people don't even want to look at the news, see what's really going on, see the real condition of this place, knowing that this is still going on. Let me pull this up. Let me pull this up real quick. Because you look at this stuff, you know, hey, it's going to be some real grim shit going on outside of what's going on right now. I was talking to somebody about this recently. Let me see where it's at now. Last time I looked, it was at $27 trillion. Now it's at $28.7 trillion. That's the debt, man. And it's still going up. Shit ain't in the green. Shit in the red still. Debt per citizen, $86,000. Debt per taxpayer, $228,000. U.S. federal spending official, $6 trillion, or $6.9 trillion, because it's still going up. You can round it off. U.S. federal budget deficit, $3.1 trillion. That's a lot of fucking money. And guess who that debt goes back to? The elites. Hey, Biden ain't nothing but a puppet. Him and his other little buddies that sit up in that house. They ain't nothing but a puppet. Frontmen. They get orders. You have Evelyn or Jacob or whatever Rothschild leaders' names tell them to get on TV and do this and do that, they're gonna go do that shit. That's just how it go down. But most people they don't care to know this stuff though. They just, alright, whatever. But it's gonna make their ass care once they come down with great rap. And they coming down real soon too. Just putting stuff in motion. We pull a few more precepts. Let's see what else I want to get. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 28, verse 12. It says, when the righteous triumph, there is great glory, but when the wicked rise, men hide themselves. And you actually have a lot of people that's doing that now too, like going out to the country, moving out in the middle of the desert, like in Arizona and Nevada and different little places. And I know this personally from people that I know, because they see how stuff is in the inner city, so they try to go on the outskirts, going down to like Georgia, Carolina, and more wooded areas so they can get away from certain stuff because they see how wicked shit is. Let me see. What else I want to get out of the book of Proverbs? Alright, that's it. That's all I can get out of that. Let me scroll down some more in the book of Malachi. But yeah, you know what? I ain't gonna get that. What I really want to get. Go back into what I was speaking on the back up. We're gonna actually be judging the world. He's all got his court system set up and all this other stuff to actually judge people and push out monies and sign off to my monies, sign off on bills and distribute funds. So hey, certain men of our nation, they're gonna be able to do that too as well. On a high level though. And I'm gonna get on the topic about Esau being in captivity too, because they gotta pay for what they did. They ain't gonna just skate off into the sunset or going on to another planet or whatever. It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6. Let me see, we'll read on down from verse 1. It says, dare any of you having a matter against another go to law before the unjust and not before the saints. Do you know? It says, do you not know the saints should judge the world, and that the world should be judged by you? Are you unworthy to judge the smallest matters? Know you not that we should judge angels? How much more the things that pertain to this life? So, certain stuff that's going to be taking place in the future. You got men that's walking this earth now that's actually going to be in a position to judge small matters, big matters, whatever. And guess what Esau is going to be in captivity, as it is written. Now, that's a hard pill for people to swallow. Whenever I always talking about karma and you reap what you sow, or whatever you put out in the universe and come back. They say they came back yet, but it's going to come back though. Let me see what else I'm going to get out of this. Something else I was thinking of too. Give me 1 minute. Okay, back at verse 3 it says, know you not that we should judge angels? How much more things that pertain to this life? And then you have judgments of things pertaining to this life, set them to judge who are at least esteemed in the church. I speak to your shame. It is so that there is not a wise man among you, no, not one, that shall be able to judge between his brother. When brother go up to the law with brother, and that before the unbelievers. It says, now therefore there is utterly a fault among you, because you go to law with one another. Why do you not rather take wrong? Why do you rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded? Nay, ye do wrong and defraud, and that your brother. That wasn't the point I was trying to get to. I was just reading on, but let me see what else I want to go in. Okay, here we go. Verse 9, it says, know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves of mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of Yahweh. And the ones that's actually practicing on being a righteous man, being in a righteous mind frame, those are judges. And even now, the Most High put men in positions to judge amongst people. You deal with people. I'm sure I can't know heard it numerous times. You be around somebody and something happen, and they'll be like, don't judge me, because they know you're going to judge in a righteous manner. And they don't want to have that shame covering them, that shame on their mind like that. Because they know they be fucking up, so they're going to say, don't judge me, please don't judge me. But you have men that's really going to be judging them. And that's going to be starting with the house of David too. Those are going to be the top judges. I'm going to get this last little scripture and I'm going to end this up. Because ready yet? Just a few little different little scriptures keep popping in my mind. You know, I'm over the place, but I just want to touch on a few topics and then I'll end this off and start on something else. Book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 10, it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So, who was led into captivity? Who did the leading? It says, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. And you got to be extremely patient for this, because you got people around the world, they want to try to do coups or whatever. Start their own little militias and these different little parties and groups, thinking they just gonna go roll up on Esau. And these devils, they got fucking, what you call them, like sonar cannons and shit, and microwave guns and shit. You ain't just finna just roll up on Esau and do what you really want to do. You gotta have patience that the Most High move stuff. How he gonna move it. Send them prayers up too as well. You can pray for them. Ain't nothing wrong with praying for them storms that hit certain places. Nothing wrong for them to pray for them earthquakes to hit certain places, because the Most High act on that. He'll do that. And you'll turn on your news, you'll turn on your TV, And it might be a place you was just thinking about, and that'll pop off like that. Them prayers, especially if you're praying in the Hebrew tongue, is extremely powerful. And Esau know that. That's why they took our language from us. They took our heritage from us, as is written in the Book of Psalms. Let me get this last part right quick. And then I end this up. I know I keep saying that, but different stuff keep popping up in my mind as I'm thinking about it. Now, concerning this captivity, the Book of Amos talk about how the house of David should be rebuilt. When it's knowing that the house of David gonna be rebuilt, what was happening while the house of David was on top? I see this in the book of 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel. Let me see. Yep, 2 Samuel, chapter 8, verse 14. But yet, I'm going to just read on down. I don't even want to start at verse 14. I'm going to start on that down verse 1. And this was going to happen again because like the scriptures say, no new thing under the sun. I saw it in the sun, and what it was, I saw it in the sun and the moon, if I'm not mistaken, the place of judgment where righteousness and wickedness dwell. So that's why you see all this judgment going on this earth, how it's going down. The judgment of Esau got to get played out too. We served our judgment. We went through all our terrible turmoil. So now it's time for us to be on top and for them to get everything they put out and some. Anyway, and them heathens too that's included with it because they ain't skating off into the sunset either. They had a hand in this shit. Alright, in verse 1 it says, after this it came to pass that David smote the Philistines and subdued them. And David took Beth-Gamah out of the hand of the Philistines, and he smote Moab and measured them with a line, casting them down to the ground. Even with 2 lines measured he to put together with one full line to keep alive. And so the Moabites became David's servants and brought gifts. They're going to do that again. Like in the book of Isaiah, it said the gates should be open continually. And they should bring forth gifts. They're going to be doing that. So they ain't got, hey, fuck, people be talking that stimulus shit. Fuck that stimulus. This is the real stimulus right here. Now, in verse 3 it says, David smote also Hadazer, the son of Real, king of Zobah, as he went to recover his border at the river of Euphrates, and David took from him 1,000 chariots, and 700 horsemen, and 20,000 footmen. And David hugged all the chariot horses were reserved of them 100. It says 400 chariots. And when the Syrians and Damascus came to succor Hadazer, king of Zobah, David slew the Syrians 220,000 men. And David put garrisons in Syria and Damascus, and the Syrians became servants to David and brought gifts. Yeah, it's going to continue to happen again. And you see a lot of these heathens now, they be trying to be nice and do a little extra shit now, but when the house of David, the tabernacle of David, the Bayah, Dawadah, get risen up, people gonna know, man. You're gonna be able to see somebody's spirit clearly. You're gonna see that shine on their face. You're gonna see how they carry themselves, how they speak, what they're really into. And they just gonna know. They're gonna know that they are representatives of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And the Most High, he don't need us to represent for him. He's the Most High. But he a man of his word that he should not lie. So all this stuff been pre-written and it's gonna get played out. Now it says, and the Lord preserved David whithersoever he went. David took the shields of gold that were on the servants of Hadazer and brought them to Jerusalem, and from Batah, and from Ratah, cities of Hadazer. King David took exceeding much brass. And basically hit that lick. That's what it boils down to. It says when King, it says Toaz, so like that's how you actually pronounce that. It said, King of Hamath heard that David had smitten all of the hosts of Hadazer. Then Tobiah sent Joram, his sons, and King David to salute him and to bless him because he had fought against Hadazer and smitten him. For Hadazer had wars with Tobiah, and Joram bought with him vessels of silver, vessels of gold, vessels of brass, which also King David did dedicate to the Lord with the silver and gold that he had dedicated of all nations which he subdued, of Syria and of Moab and of the children of Ammon, and of the Philistines and of Amalek, and of the spoil of Hadazer, son of Roab, king of Zobah. And David got him a name when he returned from smiting the Syrians in the valley of Salt, being 18,000 men. And that's a lot of people, man. A whole lot of fucking people. It says he put garrisons in Edom, throughout all Edom. He put garrisons. And all there of Edom became David's servants. They weren't cool, they weren't hanging out, being buddy and shit. It says, and the Lord preserved David wheresoever he went. And that's gonna happen again, man. Most High gonna turn it up even more though. That was just back in ancient time. Now stuff more modernized now. So I just want to bring this. I ain't gonna ramble on too much more. Like the scripture said, when the wicked rule, when people mourn, but the righteous in authority, and people rejoice. And people gonna rejoice when righteous men actually in control of resources and distributing that stuff out in a balanced manner. And actually pushing the laws of Yahweh Shem Shah. So I just want to bring this out. Call out Yahweh Shem Shah. And Shalom to the left.